From the Max event in Nashville, Tennessee, this is Assembly Audible, where we connect great ideas and product assembly to you. I'm your host, JJ. Today we're talking about something most manufacturers already have, but still struggle to use effectively: their data. Plants are generating more data than ever. The challenge is turning that into something actionable that actually improves uptime, quality, and decision-making on the floor. Joining me is Alex Wirth from Rhino Toolhouse.
So most plants today will have engineers go and run to all of the different disparate systems in the plant. And each one of these connected devices from Industry 4.0, plants have spent tens of millions, hundreds of millions of dollars on Industry 4.0. And all the data siloed. So today what they're doing is they're running to each one of these systems, pulling the information, running back to their cubicle or their office, and trying to compare the information. And it's really a time suck. And it prevents them from doing more continuous improvement activities that would benefit the company.
That's why we're here today to talk about your new system, RhiKnows.
Yes.
So tell me all about it, how it came into being, and what it solves.
Yeah, so RhiKnows is a AI manufacturing platform that takes all the data from the disparate systems that we've sold over the years and even things that we haven't, and it pulls that information into a centralized data lake. If the customer already has a data lake, great. Then we are just a thin layer client that observes that information, pulls it together in our Azure cloud. We have on-prem solutions as well. And it, using a common data model and an AI copilot, we're able to provide real-time actionable insights to the customer. For years, we sold a lot of hardware and we knew we were making a difference, but even during deployment, we would see some of the improvements that we made to their hardware would drift over time. We would see a red X on a DC smart tool, and then the operator just kind of backs it up and runs it back down and they get a green light. And there's a certain bit of peace of mind there. But as you start to understand more and more about these manufacturers and the things that really matter to them, when we show them RhiKnows, they get so excited. And it's a level of excitement that I didn't know existed with them because we weren't part of those discussions. But now as we cement that relationship with them, we get into more and more of these meetings and we truly understand, what drives them.
AI is kind of a buzzword right now.
Yeah.
So what makes RhiKnows different?
For us, Rhino Toolhouse was a distribution company. And we didn't set out to be a software company. But, at Rhino Toolhouse, everybody deserves a clean sheet of paper. It's important that we listen. And when I would talk to customers and I would ask them, what keeps you up at night? One of the main things I would hear is, we've spent all this money and we have all this data, but we can't access it in meaningful ways. So we didn't set to build this product so much as we reacted to a need in the market that we saw existed.
So give me a real-world example of a customer who's actually used this and what the results have been.
Yeah, gosh, there's so many. I think immediately of reactionary maintenance. That's probably the easiest one. A lot of our customers do preventative maintenance, which is great, by the way, because if you attack a preventative maintenance, it's the difference between $300 and $3,000 on a piece of equipment, right? Just rough numbers. But we're doing that based on a calendar and not necessarily the performance of the tool. And all of these metrics exist inside these pieces of equipment. So if we can pull that information and use real data to talk about how the tools, whatever it is, robot, cobot, AGV, assembly, torque tool, you name it, PLC, if we can pull that information, analyze it, and say, hey, we're going to throw a flag here. We see a drop in performance or an anomaly in your performance. We think that this is going to start to break down, and then alert them so that they don't have to go digging through dashboards. We're sending alerts proactively, telling them that something is wrong. I think of compliance, operator training, right? So as you get an operator and you put him in a new cell and he was a level 4 operator, And now all of a sudden he's struggling in station 3, when in station 5 he was doing great. That might be a training issue for the operator. It might point to something bigger in the station, having to do with production capabilities and compliance. Like how does the process evolve in that station? Does it need some tweaks? Digital twins. How can we better allocate our assets and our line balance throughout the plant so that we can get maximum productivity with quality? And of course, the big one is warranty, right? Anything that we can do to get to the root cause of why, God forbid, bad parts leave our building. If we can drill down to that to prevent that from happening ever again, that's customer satisfaction, that's goodwill, and that means a lot to our customers.
Specifically, who is RhiKnows made for?
I think anyone from the CEO, COO, down to a maintenance supervisor. Um, I had a maintenance technician who's retiring in a year tell me that he was worried about leaving this job that he had been at for 35 years because nobody else knew how to fix pneumatics like he did. And so we loaded all the manuals into the digital copilot. And now, if someone untechnical like myself or unmechanical like myself could come in, interface with the copilot and fix it like John is, he's walking away feeling good and the plant feels good knowing that that backfill is there. And then you just progress up the line from a line leader to a line operator to a manufacturing engineer, a quality engineer, quality managers, all the way up to a plant manager. There's so many different apps, right? I mentioned it's a modular system. We have 12 different apps. We can really provide insights based on the data that you're providing us. And so really, it drills down into what's meaningful to you. What's going to help you improve your process? Where are the biggest headaches? What's keeping you up at night?
From your perspective, tell me how RhiKnows impacts the relationship with your customers.
For me, personally, it's been incredible. Rhino Toolhouse has always prided themselves on not being a vendor, right? We're not coming in trying to sell you something. We're trying to partner with you so that we can better understand your process. Even with that mentality, a lot of our customers think of us as torque tool salespeople or material handling salespeople or whatever. Providing them this level of granular information, I think, puts us in the light that we want to be seen in. We care about the relationship. We care about our customers producing good parts, good products, being successful. Our success is their success and vice versa. And so anything that we can do to help leverage them to be better. We've got a growth mindset in our company, and we want to expand that across all of our customers. Be a little bit better every day. And if we can help them do that, then I think it just cements the partnership even further. Because like I said before, we didn't build this to be a software company. We built it to solve problems. So really, we're taking the lead from our customers. They're telling us where to go next. And we're certainly open on where that's going to take us. And if we don't get that direction, then we'll start to roll things out. I think the next big thing for us is, instead of just listening, it's that two-way interface, right? It's the call and the answer back. So if companies trust us enough to listen to that information, provide real-time insights, can we take some of the workload off by making changes to equipment or to processes so that they don't spend time just responding to alerts, right? They can focus on the things that are going to help make the plant more efficient, and we just take care of all that busy work for them. You don't have to live with the status quo, right? You can always get better, and we built this to help you get better. And if you have a growth mindset and you want to continue to make your plant more efficient, provide better quality, and drive innovation, then RhiKnows is something worth looking at.
Alex, thank you so much for joining us on Assembly Audible. And a special thanks to all of you, our listeners. I hope you'll tune in again soon.